all new BWP Encore. I'll be your host, Gregory Dykes Jr. We're coming at you live from BWP Studios here in Liverpool. We've spent a fortune to make sure you get the very best Britannia Wrestling experience. We've got our wonderful computerised backdrop. It's nice, isn't it? We've got our live studio audience. And when I say live, I mean canned. You know how it is. We've got that kind of budget. Right, I'm here to guide you through what is happening in Britannia Wrestling Promotions at the moment. Okay, we're going to talk about the big shows coming up. We're going to talk about the big shows that have just happened. And then I am going to rant and rail and do a bit of fantasy booking because I'm a frustrated booker. That's what we're going to do. Okay, that being said, I want to talk first about the El Bandito Memorial Tournament. It's just gone. Everyone knows Mark Morgan won it. Great performance. Fantastic. Yeah, awesome. Another Stokey on top. Great, right? But the one thing I want to talk about first is, well, before we talk about it, why don't I let you see what happened? Mr. Video Man, we have all the footage.
Tonight is all about your hero, all these people's hero, Oric Williams, Al Bandito, call him whatever you want to call him. But I personally think, if he was here right now and he's listening to you, giving out all these jobs, not taking responsibility, he'd be quite disappointed in you, Steve. Just like I am, as you stand there grinning at me with that stupid ex-Stokey face of yours. He'd be disappointed, and you know why? It's probably a good thing that Oric isn't around no more, because if he was in this ring, I'd have to beat his ass. Giving out to all these other jobs, taking no responsibility, I mean, are your kids even yours, Steve?
Gotta hurt. Big Exy whacking Steve Saxon. Now I have it on good authority that Steve Saxon was about to announce the new general manager of Britannia Wrestling Promotions, which would have been a big announcement. You know, Saxon's fond of them. But the Red Right Hand come out and they stopped that announcement. They stop it maybe because Phil Woodvine wants to be general manager. Maybe Phil Woodvine is scared of what's about to happen. And it brings me on to the Red Right Hand. Who were the Red Right Hand? No one even knew who they were a couple of months ago. Right, you've got this mishmash of guys who look like they've got no business being together apart from a red glove on their hand. Right, what are the motivations? Exactly why did they take out Steve Saxon? Exactly why did the British Lions, who were possibly the most popular tag team in Britannia Wrestling Promotions, split up, then get back together, then have a love fest? Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to put it down the lens of this camera right now. Red Right Hand, tell us who you are, tell us why you're here, and tell us what you want to achieve. Okay, we've got Don Micho, about 6'5", about 20 stone, big massive fella, could win any match against any competitor he wanted, and he surrounds himself with people like Phil Woodvine. Phil Woodvine's never achieved anything in this industry. The only things he's ever got are on the back of other people. So I want to know, what's he after? And why has he built himself a little militia to get what he wants? Okay? British Lions, they're going to go after the tag team titles. Let's not be daft. You know, that's what they're going after. Maybe they couldn't get the job done properly when they were high-fiving fans, and they think that the best way to boost their pay packet is to line themselves up with that lot. Don Micho, I know what his motivation is. He walks around in his big black trench coat, chonging on his big cigar, walking around like he's got a 10-foot, let's not go there, right? He's after power and he's after respect, right? He's not come out and said it, because he doesn't come out and say much, which worries me more than someone who constantly flaps the gums. And then you got Big Exy. Big Exy's a man who's had more bloody gimmicks than I can care to remember, and nothing's ever stuck. Nothing's ever stuck. He's just floated through, being the perennial rookie. Right? Makes sense for him to be in a strong group. But what does he give to the red right hand? These are the questions I want to know. So this is a direct challenge to the red right hand. Answer me and answer the BWP Faithful. Why are you here? What do you want? What are your goals? Alright? You're going to be there this weekend, Easter weekend, 26th and the 27th. 26th in Denby, 27th at our return to Real Little Theatre. How about you pick up a microphone and stop being a gang of chicken and tell us why you're here? That's all I've got to say on that one. Right?
The BWP Big Easter Weekend, kicking off this Saturday night at Denby Town Hall, followed by our return to Real Little Theatre this Sunday night. Doors open at 7 p.m.
Well, you cut me off. What, because I said chicken? I've got a show to run. Directors. Anyway, I was talking about the El Bandito Memorial Tournament. Let's talk about those special announcements from Steve Saxon. We know one of them is going to be the new general manager, okay? You can speculate on who that's going to be. I'm not bothered, I still get paid the same, alright? But I'm sure he's going to announce it this weekend. That's all I'm saying on that. Now, this second announcement, I've heard the rumours backstage on this. No one really knows what it is. Okay, could it be, everyone's getting a pay rise? Probably not. Could it be we've got a new venue that we're coming to in this year? That's quite likely because we're always expanding. Could it be a big return? Who knows? Could be him, could be Lord Graham Thomas. I doubt that, but he's in the bookies, right? So it could be any of those things, right? What I'm suggesting is that you get your backside down to either Denby or Real this weekend and find out what those announcements are going to be. I'll be interested. I'll be there, waiting with bated breath to find out. You never know. It could be Gregory Dykes Jr.'s return to the ring. That's unlikely to happen as well, to be honest with you. I was shocking at that professional wrestling laugh. Right, let's talk about real wrestlers. Let's talk about Mark Morgan. Okay? Mark Morgan, the perennial transitional champion. Let's be honest. He came in, 8 stone soaking wet in his bright leather plevers, whatever they were, I don't even know, but they were yellow and they were rank. Bleach blonde hair, right? And everyone took a look at him and went, jobber. But over the course of time, Mark Morgan has proven that he is one of the premier athletes in British wrestling at the moment. Often undervalued, often overlooked, but not at Britannia Wrestling. He's won the El Bandito Memorial Tournament now, twice. He's won the BWP World Catchweight Championship, twice. Mark Morgan has won pretty much everything that is to win in Britannia Wrestling Promotions, okay? At the El Bandito Memorial Tournament that's just happened, he went through absolute hell to win that title again, to win that El Bandito Memorial Tournament. He got himself a nice big shiny trophy, but what he garnered more than anything was the respect of his peers, the respect of BWP management, and the respect of BWP World Catchweight Champion, the British legend, Keith Myatt. Keith has made it quite clear that he's willing to take on all comers for that title. God only knows how long Keith's got left with that title. We don't know. You know what I mean? He's getting on in years, and there's lots of young pretenders to that throne. Okay? This weekend, Keith Myatt, Mark Morgan. That is going to be a hell of a fight. And if you don't think it's going to be a hell of a fight, have a look at this. This is what Mark Morgan went through to get an opportunity at that title.
It's time for the 2016 El Bandito Memorial Tournament!
opportunity at the Catchweight Championship. Now that I've got the shill out the way, right, this is what I think. Right, Mark Morgan and Keith Myatt, two lads from Stoke. Well, Keith Myatt isn't really a lad anymore, is he? Right, Keith has got all the experience in the world, but he hasn't got the engine anymore. It hurts me physically to see him do a stunner nowadays, right? And he's going in there with probably the most athletic, agile competitor in the BWP. I'll tell you right now, as far as I'm concerned, Keith Myatt's losing that title this weekend. Mark Morgan is actually going to achieve something special. 3-time catchweight champion. Okay, the first time he won it by cashing in, and he lost it very soon after. The second time he won it, and then got cashed in on, held it for a very short amount of time. This third reign is going to be the reign that makes Mark Morgan. See him while you can when he's got this title, because I'll tell you now, once he's got that title, he might not be around for very long. He might be off to Japan, he might be off to America. So see him while you can, so then you can tell your kids and you can tell your mates, I saw him before he was famous. And Keith Myatt, a lot of respect for what you've done, but this is just one mile too far down the road for you. Sorry to say it, Keith. Right. Brings me on to the next thing that came out of the El Bandito Memorial Tournament. My old big Danzig. He's been on a tear, hasn't he? Retired Dylan Roberts. Just beat down everyone in Britannia Wrestling Promotions. Built himself an army. And just took over. Welsh champion. Possibly the most disgusting, reviled, hated competitor in BWP. That's one way of looking at it. Or you could say he's possibly the biggest success story that BWP have ever created. Something that's come from the dust, from possibly one of the most bland tag teams I've ever seen in all my days, when he came in with his brother as the Danzigs. He then cut his own swathe. Believe me, I know about that. And he has now reached an apex that very few men have reached in Britannia Wrestling. And that is to be considered as something apart from Britannia Wrestling. Danzig has built himself a brand. He's built himself a following. He has built himself a story on nothing more than just what a he is. Right? And then he's coming up now against the Pitbull. If you're going to go for the big man, go for the Pitbull. You want to be at the top? Go for the man who's sat atop the BWP since pretty much its inception, minus a couple of years that we don't talk about. Right? You want to be the man in BWP, you go through Pitbull. He's rusty. Now's the time. But don't think that that dog won't bite. The K9 suplex machine, right? He's been out of action for a while. He lost that big fight against Owen Gallagher, and I think it might have dented his confidence a little bit, if you can believe that. And now he's back with something to prove. He took the office job and it didn't quite work out, because all he wanted to do was kick the shit out of people, and he wasn't allowed to. So he's coming back in now, and he's got his eyes set on Danzig. This is a Danzig who Pitbull knows very, very well. Let's be honest. Let's pull back the fourth wall. Pitbull pretty much trained Danzig. Okay, the training school wasn't very good that they went to, but those two were very good wrestlers. And those two have faced each other a couple of times, not in Britannia Wrestling. Right? And now they are going to clash. They're on a collision course now. Danzig and Pitbull. Danzig and Pitbull. Danzig and Pitbull. What makes this more combustible? I know, let's make it a death match. Steve Saxon booking for you. He will kill his wrestlers to give you people a show. And that's exactly what's going to happen at this one. My pick for this, neither man's walking out alive. Earlier on in the week, the team here at BWP Encore, they put a question to you, the BWP Faithful of who do you think the next rising stars of Britannia Wrestling Promotions are going to be. Got my little tablet gimmick, I'm going to read some of them out, so I'm going to name check some of you because I know that's the only reason you're tuning in, right? So this is the opportunity where you get your say and I get my say about what you've got to say, alright? So who are going to be the big rising stars? Obviously the first one to post was Max Davies because he spends his life on Facebook all about BWP, and he says he thinks it's going to be the year of Mark Morgan. Okay, yeah, that's a controversial answer. Thanks, Max. Right, Jane Wilkinson says Mark Morgan and Ryan Lloyd. Okay, Ryan Lloyd. He's one who has got all the tools, Ryan Lloyd, but he's never quite pieced it together yet, has he? But I know he's been working hard in the gym, he's got himself some nice new gear, and I think you might be right, Jane. I think Ryan Lloyd is going to have a big year this year. Either that, or he's going to have a shocking year. It could go one or two ways. Right. Dean, Dave and Bert should stick together for comedic value and cracking teamwork. Thanks very much for your input on that one, but as we all know, comedy doesn't sell in wrestling. Right, Mark Morgan, Mark Morgan, Mark Morgan, Mark Morgan, Ryan Lloyd, another one from Ryan Lloyd from William Roberts. And William Roberts also goes on to say, Pyro is another fantastic worker. His skills in the ring are brilliant and the crowd love him. It'd be nice to see a smaller guy hold the top spot. Okay, first of all, William Roberts, I'm assuming you know a lot about wrestling because you use the phrase worker. Okay, we'll go there with that. But I agree with you. Pyro, possibly one of the best athletes in BWP. You know, he's got all the moves, and all the spots. Yeah, if you can piece those little spot monkey bits together and actually nail someone with one of them, you could potentially win a title this year. I agree with you on that. Dave Del Vecchio is a great talent and I think will prove a great singles competitor. Well, he's just had a little run as a singles. He's back with the red right hand now, William. Some people, honestly. Where'd you get them? Where'd you get them? Anyway. Right. Chris Gordon, again. Mark Morgan and Ryan Lloyd seems to be the general consensus. Oh, here come the neckbeard brigade. Here come the weirdos, the ones who you see at the shows, pushing kids out the way so they can clap hands with the favourites. Alan Ainsworth, don't know who you are, mate. We need a stronger women's division. Being ages, where are Anna Pat, Lana Austin and Nixon Neal? I've just name checked you, so your wife's going to be happy that you're the first person to speak about the women's division. Okay, yeah, Lana Austin, she's good, she's got good training, yeah. Nixon Neal, fantastic worker. Fantastic worker. But let's be honest, women's wrestling, it's a bit crap, innit? Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? You know, there's only one reason people pay to watch women's wrestling, and that's because they wear those little shorts that go halfway up their ass crack. Let's be honest. Right. Okay. William Roberts agrees with Alan that the women's division needs a serious kick up the backside this year. The talent is great and needs to be made more prominent. I know what you want to see prominent, you freak. Right. Okay, again, another one for Lana Austin. That's Helen Sheridan says, I've always rated Mark Morgan and think he is destined for great heights, as is young Ryan Lloyd, the first of the homegrown talent. We're the first of the homegrown talent, I'll have you know. There were people before, we just happen to be crap. Alright? As for tag teams, I think the Island Brothers have to be the ones to watch though. Now, Helen, don't say this often. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. The Island Brothers are a proper tag team. Proper tag team. Right? Great tag team manoeuvres. They look great. They carry themselves well. And let's be honest, you want to see more of the Island Boys, get down to a Britannia Wrestling Promotions show. Come and see the Island Boys live for £7 before you have to pay $9.99 a month to watch those boys. That's my assessment of that. And as you know, I'm the Oracle of BWP. What I say tends to happen. And I'm calling that right now. Okay. Danzig. Well, Danzig's already at the top, isn't he? You know what I mean? Dave Roberts says CJ Banks. Okay, CJ Banks is one of the best wrestlers in the country. He's booked everywhere, that's why he's never on bloody BWP shows, because you can never get hold of him. He's either pissed up or he's wrestling somewhere for Brad Flash. Right, okay. Don Micho. Okay, that's a good shout. Don Micho's got the potential. He's big, he's strong, he's talented. He's odd. Right, okay. Let's have a look who we've got here. Well, Mark Morgan. This Dave Roberts is all over this Facebook. Get a life, mate. Get a life. Right, okay. That's pretty much it. It was Dave Roberts and Alan Ainsworth being a pair. That's how it works. Right. You're going to have to do better next time because I've got time to fill. You know what I mean? I'm paid by the hour here. So what I want is more responses. What I want from you is, who do you want to see in Britannia Wrestling Promotions in 2016? There is a plethora of talent out there on the British wrestling scene. So let us know, who do you think is going to be a good addition to the roster? Who should BWP management bring in? Who should the new general manager look to scout and bring in? Obviously, bear in mind, if you come to me and say, John Cena, like some of you do, right, there's no chance of getting him in, is there? Let's be honest. You know, we're not going to get Daniel Bryan because his neck's a bit, There's certain lads of Future Shock we can't use because Dave Rain doesn't let him out of his basement in between shows. You know what I mean? So, you know, be realistic. I know Alan Ainsworth's going to say Lionel Austin and Nixon Newell again. You know what I mean? But tell us who you want to see in 2016. Okay? And we'll go from there. Have your say, and then I'll have my say about what you say. That's all from BWP Encore. I'm going for a pint. I'll see you later. Ciao.